Hi there, Sagittarius. Thank you for joining me for your monthly forecast for December. Yours is a sign which really values freedom. Freedom of thought, freedom of space, and you're an adventurous person who often has a unique take on the world. You can also be very frank and straightforward in your opinion. But as you enter this new month, December, I do feel there can be a sense of limitation around you that you've not often experienced before. Partly, of course, this is because Saturn has relocated in your sign. But the Sun is side by side as December begins, and both are squaring up to Neptune. Neptune, that dreamy, nebulous, gassy influence which can drain the force that the Sun in your own sign can want to give you. So the natural spark that you're used to at this time of the year could actually be a bit lacking. It's also the case that Saturn and Neptune are going to continue to square like they did in November for the rest of this month, although it is at its peak as this month begins. So just be aware that you may need to pace yourself a little bit. This is underscored by the fact that there's a quarter moon on the 3rd. A lot of worldly demands could come into your situation in the following week. Other people want something from you. It could be loved ones, around more emotional issues which they feel that you're neglecting, or it could be professional people who don't necessarily agree with your more single-minded way of doing things. Your free spirit, often your greatest asset, seems to be challenged at every turn as this month begins. Also, Mercury in your sign, which is percolating lots of ideas, is squaring up with Jupiter for the first week. As much as these ideas may be great, you can't necessarily assume that everyone else is going to be jumping up and down with excitement. So try not to get too carried away, slow things down, look at the detail. Detail is something that can bore you at times, but the more you can be conscious of this, the better. Now Venus also moves on the 5th, but it moves into a very tender part of your horoscope, one which it's going to be in until the 29th. If there is a relationship that isn't working very well in your world, I do feel that this is going to be a pivotal influence. It's not the greatest time of the year to not be feeling very happy in a love relationship, but it could just be as easily around a friendship. Mars and Uranus are in a big conflict from the 5th through to the 19th, and someone could be much franker to you about your failings as they perceive them, in a way that you're quite used to handing out to other people. Because to you, what's a straightforward, frank discussion can seem like a brutal interrogation to other people. And unfortunately, you might be on the end of some of your own medicine this month. However, equally, you may find yourself having some choices to make, particularly around your love life. And you could be attracted to someone who's very different, a person who perhaps will push you a little bit more, but in a way won't give you as much control, so it can give you a sense of excitement, but perhaps risk, and that's something only you can weigh up. But your natural way of looking at things in a more original way is actually blessed in week 2. So don't just put this to one side. You just need to accept that not everybody else is necessarily going to fall in with what you want. On the 10th, Mercury moves, suggesting that when it comes to business, you need to be mindful of the bottom line. On the 11th, a fabulous new moon in your sign really does give you the confidence to pick up from the slump earlier in the month and regain your momentum. If there is going to be some Christmas celebrations, it wouldn't be a surprise if you still yet were at the heart of organising some of them, but it's trying to keep everyone in your circle, in your world, close and more sociable associations all on track. On the 18th, there's another challenge from your home situation and emotional life. You can't just forget about this and get caught up in targets. On the 22nd, the Sun moves into Capricorn, joining up with Mercury and Pluto. But on Christmas Day, there is a full moon. And this does suggest that some tensions can be washing around, perhaps some jealousies. And It could be about whose gift is this and who's given this person. It can all get a bit heavy on Christmas Day if you're not too careful. So it's probably best to try to be a little bit more muted in terms of your individualism and just try to see the bigger picture. On Boxing Day, however, the 26th, Uranus goes forwards, which is going to help a lot in terms of just quelling that side of you that's constantly restless and wanting change. But brilliantly, as the year comes to a close, Venus enters your sign on the 30th, and this can see you ending the year yet on a high, because something magical can happen on New Year's Eve, whether it's sociable, perhaps even it could be romantic. It's been a real pleasure being with you, wishing you a very happy Christmas, good luck, and goodbye for now.